Emperor Thurzan has work to do. You will not interfere.
So before we can reach the Emperor, we have to take on Ambassador Flamelash for his unwavering service to Ragnaros. Flamelash ascended to the rank of ambassador to the Dark Iron Clan. This depraved being initially despised his dwarven allies, but he has come to respect their penchant for destruction.
Your reign of terror ends now! Face your doom, mortals! Set the world ablaze!
Wait a minute.
To my side, Flame Walker!
I was just wondering why, for some reason, the nameplates on those ads weren't showing up. That was weird.
Prepare to burn! Serve your master, children of the living flame!
Target something first.
Prepare to burn!
So yeah, you can see he's got quite a few interesting mechanics. You know, with these Firelands portals, which we had to take care of. That looked like a soak, so I thought we were supposed to soak that, but whatever.
Set the world ablaze! Warrior of the Firelands, to me! Prepare to burn!
So I hope that this is a fun little break for those of you who perhaps, I don't know, wanted to see me play something other than Demon Hunter. That you got to see me play a bit of Warlock.
I need to target something first.
Ay, ay, ay. I think we're starting to tunnel vision and be like, you know what, just kill the boss. I think that's what's going on right now, because most of the group is dead, but you'll notice they're just trying so hard to focus on killing the boss. It's like, look, just kill the boss. And I'm dead. Like, I was trying to do the mechanics of making sure we actually, like, you know, got these ads that are casting Fear the Firelands, deal with the portals, but nope.
To my side, Flame Walker!
But we still kill him, so.
I shall be reborn!
Oh, man.
Unleash my fury.
I don't know how this story ends, champion. And I can't bear to watch it.
Alright, so let me catch the beginning of that.
I wanted Dagran to be an emperor, not a servant. I wanted to rule together. I don't know how this story ends, champion. And I can't bear to watch it.
So before we can face the Emperor, there's one more boss we have to face, and that is Pyromancer Lorgrain. In the original dungeon, he was like, I don't know, like back over here or something like that. You had to really look for him to find him. Here, he's basically just like, I am going to be the last line of defense in front of the Emperor to protect him from you.
I don't have a target.
You'll also notice that we probably need to deal with these guys. But you'll see there is Dagran and there is Moira. Now, that's actually how it used to be back in vanilla.
For removing those foolish senators.
Notice, kind of like, I almost want to give him a comparison here to Palpatine, but the idea that he's like, oh, thank you for getting rid of those ridiculous senators. Oh, gosh. Alright, I've got this big orb on me. Ah! See if that'll help save me.
I need a target.
Yeah, that's Lorgrain. Now, what I was going to say is the original vanilla version of this dungeon, of course, was Moira. They actually changed it later on to be some priestess.
Utterly pointless fools. You'll never be able to defeat me.
So, part of the story of this fight was that we were trying to save Moira. We were sent here, depending on your faction.
I wanted Dagran
Magni
to be an emperor, not a servant.
Reaches out to us, and regardless of faction, and asks us to come here and save Moira because he thinks Moira was kidnapped.
I can't bear to watch it.
So the idea here back in the day was we needed to defeat Thorosson without killing Moira.
To meet your doom at the hands of Ragnaros' most powerful servant.
So we actually have to focus Moira here because she is quite strong in this fight. But we're not killing her. What we're actually doing is just knocking her unconscious. Now, if you have played the Hearthstone encounter of this fight, the idea of how this worked was that if you killed Moira during the fight, he would just enrage and kill you. And the idea here, what you're about to see, is once we take out Moira in this fight, he basically gets super powered up, and he's like, oh, how dare ya! And he gets super strong, which makes it the next portion of the fight, which can be pretty rough. But as you can see, we do have to get rid of Moira because, well... Also, let me go ahead and put Curse of Tongues on these guys.
To my side!
Because these guys are... yeah. Annoying. But yeah, Moira's pretty strong.
I have.
But see, now he has Avatar of Flame.
Insolence will be punished!
Which empowers all of his abilities. You'll also notice that half the group is already dead.
Futile.
But yeah, he gets pretty strong here. Because we dared kill, you know, he thinks we killed his wife and queen. And of course, the future mother of his child.
be denied!
Now again, we don't actually kill her in lore. All we did was knock her out unconscious.
Repel the invaders!
But as you can see, this fight is crazy. A lot of stuff going on in this fight. And then this happens.
I'm the Emperor!
Besiege the Fire Lord.
Enough! I will finish this.
Yup! He called upon Ragnaros. What I love is that it's the model from Molten Core, the old vanilla model, but it's the voice lands from the Firelands raid. They found a way to combine both the vanilla stuff with the Fireland stuff, because they knew we can't use the old one. The old one, in terms of the voice, it wasn't great. So he actually is saying all the lines from Firelands. Die, insect, by fire be purged.
Arise, servants of fire. Consume their flesh.
That, like, all the lines he's saying are from the Firelands raid encounter.
Die, insect.
But again, we're not actually fighting Ragnaros here. We're still fighting Thorison. He's just empowered by Ragnaros. We can't even target Ragnaros. We basically just have to survive all these empowering abilities courtesy of Ragnaros.
Minions of fire! Purge the outsiders! By fire be purged! Die, insect! By fire be purged!
I'm wondering how different this encounter is on Heroic or Normal.
Spare my son.
Pathetic!
No! Thorison was a great and honorable dwarf! You ruined my life! And the life of my unborn child!
I do love that the last thing that Dagran said there was, spare my son. Oh hey, the Imperial Jewel. I have no idea how good the stuff from BRD compares to the stuff we would be getting, say, in Nerubar Palace. Because it's worth noting, if you do this on Heroic, you are getting current stuff. Like, you'd be getting a hero track version of what I just got, the Imperial Jewel. So, if you bring characters in here, you can get, like, champion hero track stuff of these things. And if you are wondering, yes, you can even get from Thorison. It's a new version. It's not the Iron Foe from Vanilla. It's a new one called Molten Iron Foe. Chance on melee or range attack to unleash a Molten Strike dealing fire damage. It has both strength and agility. So, I'll be honest, I would not mind having this on my Demon Hunter. Except one important thing. Demon Hunters can't use maces! But I could bring my Shaman here. My Enhancement Shaman? That'd be nice. Just saying. So, yeah. There's plenty of good, interesting loot in this place. So I would certainly say if you want to collect some stuff, whether it be for transmog reasons or other stuff that makes you think, oh, that'd be nice and useful, definitely check it out. And that's part of the reason why we are actually collecting these coffer keys because even if we don't get something to drop, we can actually just go ahead and loot and purchase it from the vendor. In fact, I'll show it to you when we leave here. And yes, she basically said what I mentioned in my old Blackrock Depths video, which is that when we kill Dagran here, that she basically blames us for that and that she would hold it against us. And I thought that there was another thing from her, but I think that's it. If I want to find more, I'm going to have to do this on normal. Plus, there's another boss I have not killed that I would need to find and kill in order to get the achievements for it. I just have yet to be a part of a normal run of this raid, and I want to. I want to take my Warlock here into a normal run. We just haven't set it up yet.
Have you heard anything I need to know? We will survive.
Dark Iron Clan was lost to Ragnaros. I dreamed of freeing them from his thrall. If only I could have done so before my husband was... Here. Take these tokens on my horse, and thank you for seeing the truth with your own eyes.
I dismiss you. Mind yourself, champion. We need you.
It brings me no pleasure asking you to fight against us. I feel for the Bronze Dragons and all the work they do to protect the timeline.
If you hear anything of note, let me know.
It's strange that I must thank you for ensuring my clan's utter defeat. But from the ashes we rose, soot and all. Thank you, champion.
The three hammers.
I need
Stand
to
as
target
one.
something first.
So you get a cache of what should be a champion piece of gear for doing this and getting this quest done. And I got a ring. With crit and haste. Probably not what I'm really wanting, considering that usually I like to go with heavy mastery for my Warlock to do more, especially on a demo Warlock, since I want them to do, have my demons and pets do more damage. But what I was saying here is that when you get the coffer keys, as I said, you can go over here and you can talk to these vendors, and if you have 40, you can trade them for any piece of gear that you're specifically wanting. So if you are wanting the Circle of Flame for your character, you can go ahead and grab that as long as you have 40. But you can only get these keys if you are doing the specific difficulties. You'll even notice they are labeled as the Raid Finder ones. So you can't collect Raid Finder keys and then go take them over to the Heroic Vendor over here and get the stuff for those. It just doesn't work that way. You have to get the Heroic ones. But, as you saw, the way to go into that is to actually, select these. Now, let's hear what Moira has to say. Stay a while and listen.
I won't defend the things the Dark Irons did. What I did. The blood on our hands. I was blinded by my hatred for my father, blinded by my pride. I wanted more. At first, the Dark Irons were just tools for my own ambition. And then I was blinded by love. But Dagran would have sooner burned this clan to the ground than accept peace. In utter defeat, we were freed by our enemies and found our place within the Alliance. As equals. The Dark Irons, the Bronzebeards, and the Wildhammers. One people, once more. And my wee Dagran, my son. A symbol of our unity. And the legacy my husband never got to see. Dagran Thorison II, named after his father. I didn't want folks forgetting where he came from, the bad, the good, everything. I just wish Dagran was here to see it. The Dark Irons free, the leader our son is becoming. I'm sure he would be proud.
I feel for them. I really do. When you look into that story and you see the revelation of what was really going on, I can't help but feel for Moira and Dagran. Both of them. Imagine how Dagran II feels learning about this, about what happened with his father and such. But as it was very clear, and as Moira reminded us, Dagran wasn't like some evil emperor. It was Ragnaros basically pulling the strings the whole time, being the puppeteer on Dagran there. Was Dagran perhaps a little out of his, perhaps a little bit too far in the wrong direction? Yeah, maybe. But the fact that he had elements that showed that he wasn't all that bad, the fact that his last words were about wanting us to make sure we didn't kill his son, whereas Ragnaros didn't care. He said, pathetic. Because we all know how horrible Ragnaros was. But Dagran? He was unfortunately a victim of circumstance. As Moira kind of helped make very clear to us through this experience, which I think is just a great way for us to not only experience what... Imagine if this was how it was, this whole raid that we just went through. Imagine if this was what it was like back in vanilla. Could you imagine? That would have been probably the best raid, even though it was only 15 man. It's essentially a dungeon, but it's a 10 to 15 man raid. It would have been probably the best in that era of vanilla. I know Naxxramas is without question the most the hardest, most difficult of that era, but this version of BRD makes it look kind of pale in comparison. I'm just saying. But we do have to remember the era, the time. It was just a whole different thing back then compared to this modern era. And if you don't want to take my word for it, I would say watch the video that Preach Gaming made about the legacy of Naxxramas. And he talks about how different it was back then. Even if you were to do the version in Classic, that it was just a different era compared to if you were to do it in Classic now. It just was... Things were just done differently then. Plus, it was a whole different era, different technology. Players were different back then compared to now. Developers had a whole different mindset back then compared to how they are now. But I'm glad that they went out of their way to do this with BRD. I really am. I'm glad to see what looks like actual effort. They just need to rebalance heroic BRD and make it not as overtuned as it is currently. Hopefully it will get nerfed pretty soon to the point where it'll be reasonable in terms of difficulty.
Like no other. And
shut up, Radovan. I'm talking here.
Come join a parade of fur, hooves, and wings. Report to Mount Mania and see all of these things.
But yeah, hopefully they will balance Heroic BRD to be a little less overtuned, and we'll be able to actually participate in doing heroic runs there pretty soon. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's BRD. And yeah, I think even though it does have some issues, I like it. I really do. So, I'm not sure. I guess we'll be waiting until the next bit of story in the next patch. In the meantime, I still have some more stuff to do in this anniversary event. I got still more alts to level. I could even do some more gearing. We were able to get our AOTC on Ansarek as a guild, so we are kind of in an interesting period where it's okay, we've gotten that done. We are working on our Glory of. We still have one achievement left to do, which was possibly a little buggy, a little wonky for us to do. We're going to try and get it done after the upcoming reset. But yeah, stay tuned.